Carl here from Games, Brains and Banging Life with day 24 of the lockdown list. I've noticed the still image that YouTube selects for these videos. It always seems to have me in a manic pose. I can't be bothered to put up a cover for each one of these, so I've been leaving it as it was, but they seem to be reflecting a moment either where I'm getting quite animated or excited, so I'm going to try and not do that this time. Only joking, it is what it is. I think it embodies this list in the sense that it's always a bit of excitement when it comes to recommending one of these horror movies. Today's recommendation, we are going to Shudder, the streaming site, streaming service, should I say, Shudder, the horror one. If you've not signed up for it before, you can get yourself a 7-day free trial, or you can, use multiple emails, but, I'm not telling you to do that. Shudder has a 7-day free trial. I think it's $4.99 a month after that. Decent wealth of content on it. I don't think it's good value for money, because it is. Particularly if you haven't seen as much horror, say, as I have. But whenever I've signed up for it, and I've been on and off with Shudder loads and loads of times, it's only ever when I want to watch something, and then I'm like, shit, that's on Shudder. All right, let me re-sign up for that movie specifically, and then try and bang out as many as possible during the month of payment. But it has got a lot of class on there. You've just someone's got to get through their bragging of their original content to find this stuff. A good example of that is the movie recommended today, 1988, Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama. That's a mouthful. Say it again. Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama. Now, from that title alone, I'm sure you'll have got this is an 80s cheese fest of a movie. You know you're in for a good time when you see a title like that, and that is exactly what you get with this movie. It is actually also known as The Imp. That's a shit name, particularly when you contrast it. But it's basically loosely based on the short story The Monkey's Paw by W.W. Jacobs, which obviously is something that's been done in horror many, many times before. It stars 3 Scream Queens. Not just one, not just 2, but 3 of them. We've got Linnea Quigley, Brinky Stevens, and Michelle Bauer, which, there you go, another selling point. It's very, very entertaining, very, very cheesy, very of an era. Let's not ignore that at all. From the visuals to the music, awkward ass dialogue, terrible acting at times, and enough nudity to keep, if you're a porn addict, it'll keep you off the internet for 5 minutes, because there's a lot of it in this movie. And it's all about initiation at a sorority house, of course, where Taffy, which is Brinky Stevens, and Lisa, Michelle Bauer, are trying to join a sorority run by 3 other girls. We get lots of sort of sexual stuff here, from being spanked with a paddle and sprayed with whipped cream. They're spied on by a couple of nerdy boys, as it were. You get lots of boob shots and stuff like that here. Very, very cliche stuff. Very straightforward. It's just filler to get to the real crux of it. And the boys who are the opposite side to the girls in this movie, get so horny basically that they're like, we're going to sneak into the girls' house while they clean up. And which is pretty messed up. They get caught, and as a punishment, the boys are sent to go steal a trophy from a nearby bowling alley, along with the 2 pledges, Brinky Stevens and Michelle Bauer. They're having second thoughts about this entire thing now. Like, is joining sorority worth it? But they go with the boys and go to this bowling alley. It's there they run into Linnea Quigley's character, she plays Spider, a spunky badass, who's also trying to rob the place. And she has a crowbar, so they use that to bust into the trophy room. But they end up dropping the one they need, which releases a creature, an imp in fact. An imp named Uncle Impy. He's been trapped in there for some time. How and why? Not important right now. But he offers them 3 wishes as a thank you. Jimmy, one of the boys, gets a lot of gold. Tammy, her wish is to become prom queen. And Keith, another boy, wants to have sex with Lisa. All very well thought out wishes. Well, one of them wished to be rich effectively. But yeah, the fact that you've got a wish and you're like, yeah, I wish I'd become prom queen. Or, I wish I'd have sex with that girl. Man, oh man. Think bigger, people. But yeah, so we then get lots of sort of awkwardness as their wishes come true. However, as is the case, these wishes don't stick around for long. And in fact, it's all part of Uncle Impy's plans, who's actually an evil imp. And he ends up enslaving a number of the girls and the people who made wishes to become his demonic creatures. And we get a good old-fashioned kind of jokey Night of the Demons style chase and hunt throughout the bowling alley. Demonic girls, you know, big hair and hands up like that, running after people. Plenty of boobs as well, so plenty of that. And it basically kind of peters out a bit there from there. The first half was way more memorable than the latter half. It's really then all about why did Uncle Impy get trapped inside the bowling trophy, and how the surviving characters are going to get out of this situation. Can they use Impy's abilities of wishing against him? It's a very silly flick, and that should be obvious from the title. But it's well worth a watch, particularly if you really, really like your 80s horror. This embodies it. I think this is probably up there when I think of like 80s horror movies that I can give to someone and immediately they'll be like, oh, this was made in, I don't know, 1985, 1986, or in this case, 1988. It might have been released in 1988, but it had to have been made a good few years before that, because it just has all that style. You know, that clear change when we went from 80s to 90s movies. Certain franchises embody it really well, like Halloween. The clear jump between Halloween and the 80s Halloween movies, and then when we hit the 90s one, like The Curse of Michael Myers and stuff like that, and it's so much more glossy and shiny and stuff like that. This is not got that. It's pure 80s cheese, but it is entertaining, and it's of a time that I think well worth checking out. Let us know what you think in the comments. It's on Shudder. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?